Should have got him to do some voices.
I did. I tried to, but that was death too. He just
wow.
He just wasn't into it apparently. So I'm like, okay, never mind. So, anyways, I also asked this of everybody: is there anything you want to talk about? Anything you don't want to talk about?
I don't care. Hit me.
Okay, good enough. Okay, well, what I usually say then is, and the big show continues. It's Jani Lane from Warrant. How you doing?
Hey! Hanging out.
That's cool.
In this wonderful rolling tin can of a tour bus.
Has it been hot? I know it's been hot in the West, and you guys have been on the West Coast recently, right?
It has been. Well, we did a run through, like Phoenix and Vegas and that kind of stuff, and that was like nearly unbearable.
Uh-huh.
But we just came out of Colorado, so that wasn't too bad up in the mountains.
I actually saw you guys in Denver.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I was at the show.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, sorry.
No, I thought you guys, by far, put on the best show of any of the 4 artists that are on the bill.
Thank you very much.
You guys
I like Denver. Get in a good mood to play there because the fans are good. You don't have to pull teeth.
Right. Well, the fans are good everywhere, though, aren't they?
No. No, they're not. Just like that's like I was saying, we're great on stage every night. We hit and miss, believe me.
Do you? What'd you think of the Denver performance? Did you like that?
Denver was really good. The only show that we definitely were not firing on all cylinders was San Antonio. I don't know what was on that night. It was one of those Twilight Zone nights where you're kind of looking around at all the other guys going, what the hell is going on here?
Hey, one of the things I noticed at the Denver show was the hair.
Oh, yeah. I got bored. I changed it. I had a mohawk last year, and this year I was like, all right, what am I going to do to freak people out this year? So the only logical thing for me to do was to, go black.
Yeah. Once you go black,
you never go back.
So, anyways, but yeah, like I said, I thought you guys were great. I thought Slaughter was good. They of course come on first, and I thought Mark's little voyage into the audience was kind of a neat little feature.
Yeah, he's a brave soul.
Yeah,
I'd be afraid. I don't know, something would happen.
And Kip,
who knows? Somebody'd stick their thumb in the wrong place, and it remind me of the Great Bar Hotel. I'm joking. No, go ahead. No, I used to go out in the crowd, but I lost too much jewelry.
Really?
I'm serious, man. People are just ripping everything off you.
Oh, that's funny. And then, of course, Kip Winger's on the bill, and he's doing an acoustic set, which surprised me.
Yeah, I haven't got to see that yet because, his set's pretty quick, and then the changeover. It's almost an immediate changeover after he's done, so it's like as soon as he's off, we're running on stage. So I haven't really got to see him play yet, but I've heard a lot of good things.
One of the things that my wife noticed when we were at the show last night, she noticed that is Reb Beach in
yeah, isn't that weird?
Whitesnake now?
Yeah, it's like Winger plays, then Warren plays, then Winger plays again.
Hey, I thought Whitesnake was good. They were too loud though. That was my biggest complaint with Whitesnake.
You thought they were too loud?
Oh, it was just too loud. I mean, David Coverdale sounded. I mean, he didn't sound that good because it was so loud.
Well, mix is everything. Some of these. You have to be massively loud to be good. I totally disagree.
Right.
I mean, I want it to sound good, as opposed to just trying to blow people's eardrums out. I've heard loud good. But there's also loud bad.
Right. Hey, are you friends? David Coverdale's always.
Oh, I hate everybody.
No.
Well, no, I'm joking. You know what? I really don't get to talk too much to those guys because they're kind of doing their own thing.
Right.
But I see them occasionally backstage, and they're always polite.
Are they?
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're an English band. They're a little older school. I mean, we're old school, but you know what I mean. They're more.
They're like 70s.
I mean, I went
school.
and saw Whitesnake when I was in high school. And.
Right.
And so they're a little bit of a different crowd and a different vibe on stage. They're a little more laid back, I think, than we are.
I think, with all due respect to Whitesnake, and in all due respect to you, if you're friends with David Coverdale, I got to admit my mouth was agape for the first 2 songs while I got used to his new appearance, so to speak. So.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
Oh yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Say no more. Wink, wink. No, done.
That's anyways, whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Hey, one of the things you talked about at the show was that you had just the worst I can't talk. The worst potty mouth.
I do.
And
I got a potty mouth.
And you proved that out.
Yeah, I try to, I do the disclaimer in the middle of the set every night, about, it really is the way I talk off stage too. Obviously I tone it down for interviews like this because that would be a little over the top, but
right.
I mean, I try not to use it in a negative way. I mean, you can use a lot of foul language in a bad way, or you can use it in a fun, kind of up, let's go frickin' party kind of a deal.
Yeah, you definitely made it work. I thought it complemented your show very nicely, and I've never really actually heard anybody in concert, everybody who uses the Effenheimer and stuff like that always sounds kind of fake and trying to do it, for to get the crowd going. But you were actually kind of charming when you did it. So.
I've never heard that before. Wow, that goes down in my journal.
You were charming when you were saying, "What's up, motherfucker?"
Well, I mean, that's how I talk to my friends. So.
Nah.
But I put the disclaimer out there because I know there are kids in the crowd.
Right.
I mean, yeah, who've been dragged out there by their parents. Who say, I want to go, relive that moment in time. Because there is a nostalgia aspect to coming out and seeing bands like this. But they bring the kids out, and I'm always looking down to the kids, kind of going, "Don't ever be me,"
Right. What do you think of your fans? Now, bands tend not to get stuck in the 80s, so to speak, as much as the fans get stuck in the 80s.
Isn't that true? Nobody's ever said that in an interview. You're exactly right. And it's a little trippy to go out there and you really, I don't know, for me, I mean, it takes me a good half hour in the bus before we go on to kind of drift back into that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not living in the 80s, even though that's my shtick and that's the show and that's what the band's about, and I'm very proud of it and thankful, for everything that, we've been given. That's fantastic. But that's not how I'm living my life when I'm not on stage. So it does really take a shifting of gears to get on stage and be ready to hop right back into 1988.
I consider myself lucky as a music fan. I grew up in the 80s. I was listening to you guys. I was a big fan of Def Leppard, which I maybe shouldn't mention because I'll ask you this. Every time you see Joe Elliott,
he hates me. I don't know what's up with that guy.
I know it's like your wants, your wingers, your slaughters, and I'm thinking when I was at the show last night, I'm thinking, that's kind of ironic.
I think he thinks everybody ripped him off or something, which, blows me away because everybody rips everybody off. So if Joe Elliott is the most original musician in the entire world and has never borrowed from anybody and feels offended because everybody's borrowed from him, then God bless him. But I don't know who put a stick up his, I mean, it's unbelievable. Every time the guy talks, he's got something bad to say.
I know. I get sick of it too. As a fan of the band, I'm like, I always cringe when he starts bringing that up. I'm like, okay, let it go, dude.
Yeah, he really can't let it go. Or at least up to this point, he hasn't.
Right, but he's always talking about how he loves, T-Rex and Queen and people like that, and how he's borrowed from them. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I like those bands too, Joe. But yeah, I don't know.
I guess the most.
I don't know. Eventually, we'll be in the same room, and I'll slap him around a little bit, kick him in the skirt.
There you go. The most ironic thing was that when we got into the venue, the Rock Never Stops tour was tracking Pyromania.
What? Yes. Oh my God! All right, whatever.
But then during Rock of Ages, it started to skip, and they had to
give them a warm beer, some bangers and mash, and tell them to leave me alone.
Yeah, there you go. So, anyways, the highlight, my favorite song from you guys, is Uncle Tom's Cabin. I always love that song. I
like that song too. That people ask, well, where'd you get that idea? TV Guide. I was looking at a TV guide in a hotel room, and there was Uncle Tom's Cabin on, and right underneath it was a television show called I Know a Secret.
Oh, really?
And I've been working on this riff, and I was like, wow, that works really good. But the storyline is basically, I lived a few years in Central Florida, and I heard all the stories about these backwoods sheriffs, cross them, you get dumped in a swamp, a lot of bodies floating around in the swamps in Central Florida. So that's where it came from.
Just don't end up like Ned Beatty.
Exactly. Oh, my God.
Oh, anyways, that's what I was going back to my original point before we got off on the Def Leppard thing. One of the things is I grew up in the 80s listening to you guys, Van Halen, whatever. Night Ranger, I admit, I'm a Night Ranger fan. But still, I think I feel lucky when I see a lot of people who are still stuck in the 80s because I like new bands. I like new bands like Evanescence.
I do, too. I listen to a lot of different stuff.
Revis is a new cool band that I dig on. So, yeah. So what kind of bands are you listening to these days?
I listen to everything. You name it. I'm into some of the OC kind of pop punk stuff, and I listen to some heavier stuff. I listen to everything from Dave Matthews to Puddle of Mud and Incubus. I don't really care what it is. I either like it or I don't. Mm-hmm. I like Lifehouse. There's quite a few bands out there I like. I like a band out of Denver called Drug Under.
Oh, right, yeah.
It used to be called Sick. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they played at the Denver show.
Yeah, I didn't get to see them, but I like the guys. I've heard them before, and I got a CD by them. And it's there's a lot of stuff that I like. The last thing I want to do is get musical tunnel vision.
Right.
Because that's stifling. And the last thing I want to hear when I come on the bus is Warrant. I probably haven't owned one of my own records in about 8 years.
I'm actually my favorite performer of all time. He's not actually a performer though, and he's a recluse. Is Mutt Lange. I love everything Mutt Lange's ever done.
Well, he's got the Midas touch. There's no doubt about it. And it's funny you bring him up because I intend to approach him on a side project. So
really, yeah.
The guy's brilliant. He's got such, I don't know, melodic sensibility. I don't know how you want to put it, but he is truly one of the amazing guys. It seems like everything he touches turns to gold. And he doesn't have bad taste in women either.
No, that's pretty good too.
Wouldn't mind, going and staying over at Mutt's house, working on a song, and watching Shania walk around in a robe.
There you go. Shania's going to work out. Okay, I'll be in the gym too.
Exactly. Hey, I'm going to work out too.
Hey, there's. I heard a rumor that you guys were thinking about extending this tour because it's gone down so well. Is that true?
We may extend on our own, but we would have to take a break before we do it because of the contractual obligations.
Oh, okay.
We can't start booking shows, and it's a weird thing. But you can't advertise for another show that might be in a market that would take away from people coming out to this show. All the politics.
Right.
Kind of a deal.
Hey,
but we'll definitely extend it at some point.
That's cool. At the Denver show, I didn't, unless I just completely, my mind was gone. I didn't hear you guys do anything from Under the Influence, which I was hoping you would.
We wanted to. We just recently got cut down on time.
Oh, really?
We took that song out. We were normally doing Subhuman off that.
Oh, okay.
And we just recently got cut down on time for whatever reason, and we had to X that from the set. But I'm trying to talk less so we can fit it in. It just doesn't seem to work.
Maybe you were cut down in time because you were showing up the headliner.
I'm not allowed to comment on that. So you go ahead and say whatever you want.
So anyways, well, I appreciate the time, and definitely the highlight of the Rock Never Stops tour is Warrant, as you guys.
Man, thank you. I appreciate that. And we're in Sturgis tonight, so we're going to rock.
There you go.
Yeah, a lot of people. 100th anniversary.
Yeah. Harley Davidson, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of Harleys, a lot of everything here. There's going to be between 10 and 20,000 here tonight.
Wow, should be cool.
Yeah.
All right, have a good show.
All right, man. Take care.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye-bye.